Hello, children. How are you all doing? I hope your story writing is going really well. Well, today I'm here to make sure that your story is more interesting. How do we do that? Well, today's session is all about conflicts. All right. So we're going to study about what we can do in our story about conflicts and how conflicts can be put in the story. First of all, what is a conflict, right? We need to know that. So what is a conflict? It is when you are in disagreement with people around, or maybe with your own self. Yes, conflicts could be that too, because conflicts are something where you are not fine with it. You have a quarrel, you have a fight, you are having all kind of negative emotions coming out. So the characters that you're going to put in your story, you can bring in a twist by them having some kind of a conflict with maybe a person or anyone around. Okay, but you must always remember that conflict will bring about a negative emotion. Now when we are putting a conflict in our stories, we have to make sure that we keep the conflict for only a little while, and as we go ahead, the negative changes to positive. So how do we put the conflicts in our story? Let's see that first. So there are a few types of conflicts. The first kind of a conflict that we know is man versus man, which means when a person is in conflict or it has a problem with the other person. Okay, so this is man versus man, a normal general fight that you must have all seen. The next one is man versus nature, where something like floods, something like fire, something like an earthquake, you never know, right? Something that is not predictable, something that is not in your hands. That is man and nature. Okay, conflict between man and nature. Then we have man and society, where one person is trying to bring about changes and the society is not agreeing to it, or the society wants to bring about changes and maybe somebody really big and powerful is not allowing. So that's something that you can bring in your story too. you know Bringing a social message in your story and trying to show how you overcame would be a good concept too. And the other could be the self conflict. There you think about what's going inside you. There is a turmoil inside you. You're thinking too much. You're underestimating yourself, maybe. That's self conflict. You need to talk yourself out of it. You retrospect yourself. So, how now there is a conflict. So, we have to make sure that there is a resolution. We have to solve the problem, because we can't take the negative story ahead without our protagonist or anybody who's a main character in the story not solving the problem. It would not give a good impact. And stories, generally we want it to be you know having a positive effect on people. And the best ways that you can resolve are the following: you need to communicate and listen to the other person, be patient. Okay, I've always been reiterating that listening is an important part of story writing, because then you need to know how and what the other person is feeling. So that's the empathy part. Okay. You need to be brave. Of course, if there's a natural event that happens in your conflict, you need to put in that, you take your actions, you do what is required for the good. But then, yes, keep the faith in God too. You look around to see if there is a message, a positive message that you can spread through your stories. All right. And make sure that whatever resolution you apply for the conflict that you're using for your stories, bring it out in such a way that the reader is inspired. Maybe the reader is going through something of himself or herself, trying to come out of that. Your story could be an inspiration. He could probably tackle his problems, he could probably solve the conflict by reading your stories. So what I'd suggest is, do bring in a conflict, then again resolve for sure, and bring out the positive message in your story. Okay, so happy writing, and I'm sure you'll do a great job. And thank you till we meet again. All right, see you soon.